Hello friends, welcome to Learn with Unknown. Today we are diving into an extraordinary journey of someone really special who gave new dimensions to physics and changed the way we used to think about colors. He used to say, ask the right questions and nature will open the door to her secrets. Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman, the man responsible for discovering the Raman effect, paved the way for the modern Raman microscopes that Edinburgh Instruments manufactures today. Let's explore his life journey and research work, which later became backbone of thousands of research papers. Chandrasekhara Venkata Raman was born to a Tamil Brahmin family in Tiruchirappalli, Tamil Nadu on November 7, 1888. Chandrasekhara Iyer, his father, was a lecturer in Tiruchirappalli's Society of the Promotion of the Gospel College. He was married to Parvati Amal. They had 8 children, 5 sons and 3 daughters. Chandrasekharan, Raman's father, moved to Visakhapatnam when he was 4 years old to work as a lecturer at Mrs. A. V. Narasimha Rao College. He taught physics, arithmetic and physical geography at the university. Chandrasekharan was regarded as physically and mentally powerful due to his involvement in athletics, physical culture, and Indian Carnatic music, among other things. Raman, unlike his father, was not physically powerful, but he was a brilliant thinker. He excelled in school and displayed early signs of exceptional ability, receiving praise from his teachers as well as numerous prizes and scholarships. While still in school, Raman developed an interest in physics. He once designed a dynamo on his own and was fascinated with how physical principles and machines worked. C V Raman graduated from high school at the age of 11, receiving first place in the matriculation examination with top marks. He then enrolled in the AVN college to prepare for the intermediate exam. He received more accolades this time and top scores on the university test. His principal in the college issued him a special appreciation letter and wished him great luck for his further endeavors. This is the original letter issued to him by his principal. In 1903, he received a scholarship to study for a BA degree at the Presidency College in Chennai, where he was the youngest student. At the time, the Presidency College was the best in southern India. When Raman was in college, the majority of his professors were Europeans. Raman's interest in physics grew even stronger during this period, and he also developed a strong liking for English. Raman earned first place in the university's BA exams in 1904 and gold medals in English and physics. Raman's teachers encouraged him to pursue his further education in England, but the Madras civil surgeon refused, arguing that the young Raman was too weak to endure the English climate. Raman, on the other hand, completed his MA in physics at Presidency College and did not travel abroad until he was 33 years old. When C V Raman was just 18 years old, he caught the attention of the eminent British physicist Lord Rayleigh. Unaware that Raman was still a teenage student, Lord Rayleigh sent a letter addressed to Professor Raman. This unexpected correspondence marked the beginning of their interaction, which later lasted for long. While he desired to focus on science, particularly research, there were no research opportunities in India, specifically for Indians. As a result, Raman's thoughts turned to work for the government, which is known to be clean, stable, and even prestigious. He desired to enter the prestigious Indian Civil Service, ICS, the highest level of government service, but this option had to be ruled out due to his medical issues. The Financial Civil Service, FCS, where Raman's brother C.S. Iyer was already a member, was his next preference. Raman passed the FCS examination in 1907 and married Lokasundari with a lot of traditional concerns. Unfortunately, this period of his pre-marriage wasn't really smooth. Typically, parents arranged Indian marriages, which included finding a suitable horoscope match for their infant. This included looking at the positions of the stars on their birth date as well as other horoscopic statistics. The boy and his parents then used to pay a visit to the girl's house to see if she likes them. During this period, the girl was normally asked to give a musical performance. The date for their marriage was fixed. If all things are in agreement, Raman's marriage went in a different direction. One day he heard music from an Indian classical instrument, the veena, played by Lokasundari, who was visiting from Madurai. Lokasundari was a natural at playing the veena, and Raman was instantly drawn to her. Since Lokasundari was of marriageable age at the time, and her family was looking for a suitable groom, so the matter could immediately move forward from her side. On the other hand, Raman then continued to seek permission from his parents, and despite her mother's disagreement due to caste issues, a match that was strictly forbidden at the time, he still managed somehow to marry her. In mid-1907, Raman was appointed Assistant Accountant General in Calcutta, even though he was still a teenager. His pay, including the marriage allowance, was 400 at the time. Raman and Lokasundari set out for Calcutta, the capital of British India at the time. Raman took advantage of Calcutta's vibrant and scientific environment, allowing him to fully articulate his scientific creativity. Calcutta was then regarded as the East's premier science city. Later, Raman was sent to Nagpur and Rangoon in addition to Calcutta. No matter where he was posted, Raman still found a way to perform experiments at home. Now let's go a bit back and explore his contribution to science. Raman productively used the time he had with Professor Jones while studying physics at Presidency College, designing and creating experiments to address the boundless questions he had. Only the most basic laboratory instruments, enough for classwork, were available in the physics lab at the time, but Raman made use of them all. Raman's questions were frequently those for which there were no answers in the literature. As a result, the nature of science came naturally to him, prompting him to perform experiments throughout his life. Raman experimented with asymmetric diffraction of light, though he was well aware of light in a wave shape and the principle of diffraction. Somehow Raman was aware of the philosophical magazine at the time, possibly those subscribed to by the Connemara Public Library, which was about 5 kilometers from Presidency College. It is not certain how Raman came to know of this magazine. This paper was written in 1906, and Raman, who was only 18 at the time and had not yet graduated from high school, was the sole author with no acknowledgements. Raman's achievement was all the more remarkable because Presidency College was not a research institution, and Raman's paper was the first to emerge from there. Almost immediately after Raman's first publication, Johns Hopkins University's R.W. Wood published another. Wood later sent a cable to Nature announcing the Raman effect's discovery. We shall see the details of his experiment in a while. Raman left the government in 1917 to take up the newly established Pallitt Professorship in Physics at the University of Calcutta. Simultaneously, he continued his study at the IACS, where he eventually rose to the position of Honorary Secretary. Raman referred to this period in his career as his golden age. At the IACS and the University of Calcutta, he was surrounded by a group of gifted students. In 1929, he presided over the 16th session of the Indian Science Congress. Raman worked on the acoustics of musical instruments in addition to his Nobel Prize-winning work on light scattering. Based on superposition velocities, he developed a theory of transverse vibration of bowed strings. In comparison to Helmholtz's method, this does a great job of describing bowed string vibration. He was also the first to explore the harmonic essence of Indian drum sounds like the tabla and mridangam. All the shown papers, plus his more detailed research work on musical instruments, has been adding in the description of the video. You may pause the video to look at them to get a best perspective of his discoveries. Raman was appointed director of the newly established Indian Institute of Science, IISC, in Bangalore in 1933. The IISC was established in 1909 with the aim of conducting original research and providing science and engineering education. Before Raman's appointment, All of ISC's directors, as well as the majority of its faculty, were British. He remained a professor of physics for another 2 years. The new government of independent India named him the country's first national professor in 1947. In 1948, he retired from the Indian Institute of Science and a year later founded the Raman Research Bangalore, Karnataka, where he served as director until his whole upcoming life. The brilliant researcher C V Raman used a lot of energy in the lab, generating discoveries and gathering data. He may have been 82 years old when he unexpectedly had a heart attack while working in his lab at the Raman Exploration Organization in Bangalore on November 21, 1970, collapsing and passing away. This ended a great era of a man who was very respected in international community. Now let's have a brief focus on Raman's Nobel Prize-winning discovery. Raman was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930 for his research on light scattering and the discovery of the Raman effect. The inelastic scattering of a photon is today known as Raman scattering or Raman effect. This phenomenon is the basis for Raman spectroscopy. Now the most important question is, what led to C V Raman's invention of Raman effect? It was actually an outcome of series of events. Raman began investigating light scattering as part of his broadening foray into optics. His first amazing discovery was the mechanics of seawater's blue color. He reflected on the Mediterranean Sea's blue color while sailing home from England on the SS Narkunda. He tested the seawater with basic optical instruments, including a pocket-sized spectroscope and a nickel prism. The much-revered dark blue of the deep sea has little to do with the color of water, but is the blue of the sky seen by refraction, was the strongest of many theories on the color of the sea. Raman busted this explanation and gave a scientific explanation. Also, he continued his further research on the subject. In between, Rayleigh had already established the phenomenon of the scattering of light and had provided reasons for the blue color of the sky. He said, an electron actually can absorb a photon of the wrong energy, if only briefly. It jumps into a virtual excited state and then drops back down to its original state, emitting a photon of the same color as the absorbed one, but in a random direction. This process was called elastic scattering. C V Raman established a more advanced theory of scattering. Sir C V Raman and his student K S Krishnan in 1928 found an inelastic scattering of photons by matter, meaning that there is both an exchange of energy and a shift in the light's wavelength. This phenomenon is called the Raman effect. They found that there is a shift in the energy of the scattered photons, either energy absorption, called Stokes scattering, resulting in a redshift, or energy release, called anti-Stokes scattering, resulting in a blue shift. Although termed a very weak effect, as only one scattered particle out of a million undergoes the shift in wavelength, the Raman effect has proved to be a significant achievement in physics due to its various applications. They are 1. Nature of light. The Raman effect further cemented the particle theory of light, which holds that light is composed of tiny particles known as photons. Proof of quantum theory. The study of the phenomenon of light scattering is one of the most convincing proofs of quantum theory. The Raman effect, scattering, provides information on vibrational, rotational, and low-frequency modes of energy of molecules, which are the basis of its numerous applications. Raman effect is used to measure the vibrational energy modes of a sample via Raman spectroscopy analytical technique. Here, sample can be any matter. Raman spectroscopy provides chemical as well as structural information of molecules. It provides identification of substances through their characteristic Raman fingerprint. Raman spectroscopy extracts this information through the detection of Raman scattering from the sample. Both organic and inorganic compounds can be non-destructively analyzed by the Raman spectroscopy. Some of the types of Raman spectroscopy are resonance Raman spectroscopy, RRS, surface-enhanced Raman spectroscopy, SIRS, and micro-Raman spectroscopy. The details of these spectroscopies are shared in the description. You may pause the video to understand more about them. Not to miss All this could become possible with the solid foundation of Raman effect discovery, Raman-Nath theory. With his student Nagendranath Sir C V Raman provided the theoretical description of the acousto-optic effect, light scattering by sound waves, in a number of articles which resulted in the Raman-Nath theory. This effect has enabled optical communication components based on laser systems through the use of modulators and switching systems. Study of crystal dynamics. In 1948, Sir C V Raman took a novel approach to the fundamental issues of crystal dynamics by studying the spectroscopic behavior of crystals. From 1944 to 1968, he studied the structure and characteristics of diamonds. In the early 1950s, he studied the structure and optical behavior of many iridescent materials, including labradorite, feldspar, agate, quartz, opal, and pearl. His last interests in the 1960s were in biological properties such as the colors of flowers and the physiology of human vision. It is interesting to understand that C V Raman's discoveries led him to write a set of books which are goldmine of physics. Some of them are Volume 1, Scattering of Light, Volume 2, Acoustic, Volume 3, Optica, Volume 4, Optics of Minerals and Diamond, Volume 5, Physics of Crystals, Volume 6, Floral Colors and Visual Perception. For our precious viewers, we have also shared the links of each volume. You may check it out the description of video as per your interest. Sir C V Raman achievements are many to speak about, but we have tried to mention some of them here. Many honorary doctorates and memberships in scientific societies were bestowed upon Raman. He was a member of the Deutsche Academy in Munich, the Swiss Physical Society in Zurich, the Royal Philosophical Society in Glasgow, the Royal Irish Academy, the Hungarian Academy of Sciences, the Academy of Sciences of the Soviet Union, the Optical Society of America, and the Mineralogical Society of America, the Romanian Academy of Sciences, the Catgut Acoustical Society of America, and the Czechoslovak Academy of Sciences. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1924. The Accademia Nazionale delle Scienze in Rome awarded him the Matteucci Medal in 1928. The Viceroy of India, Lord Irwin, conferred him a Knight Bachelor in a special ceremony at the Viceroy's house, now Rashtrapati Bhavan, in New Delhi. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1930 for research on light scattering and the discovery of the phenomenon named after him. He was the first Asian and non-white person to win a Nobel Prize for Science. He was awarded the Hughes Medal of the Royal Society in 1930. The Franklin Institute in Philadelphia awarded him the Franklin Medal in 1941. He received the Bharat Ratna Award in 1954. He received the Lenin Peace Prize in 1957, the day on which the Raman effect was discovered by C V Raman, February 28, 1928, is commemorated as National Science Day in India. The name of C V Raman is undoubtedly be included when discussing the great Indians of history. One of the most important scientists of the 20th century, and his curiosity and thirst for knowledge brought him to the groundbreaking achievements that have had a significant impact on modern science. C V Raman has an unparalleled reputation and has left behind an enduring legacy. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon again. Take care.